name is Minh, and recently I have just been shortlisted for the Senior Division of John Locke Institute Essay 2025 for Theology, and today I will share to you my writing journey and how I got this achievement. So before that, I would like to give you a little bit of backstory. My first serious piece was when I was writing in Inspire Youth Journal about some months ago. It was about mathematics, and I believe that mathematics is something that's really important, so I wrote about it. And I believe that is also the way that you should be writing, which is what you like the most and how you think that it is really important for the world. And then when I was choosing the topic for the senior division of John Locke's essay, I chose theology because it was a branch that I have never heard of before. At first, I chose finance and economics and sometimes even politics because those are the subjects I think that I'm the best about, because usually I do debates, I do writing, and I know a lot about politics because I read news. But then I realized a really important lesson, which is that the best things don't always come when you do it your way. Because when you grow up in your life and you learn that, oh, there are new things, I think that you should choose the pathway that you have never done it before so that you can discover new skills of yourself, which is why I chose theology. And I have never even heard about what theology is. I thought that it was topology, which is a branch of mathematics. So I wrote an entire essay about topology regarding the topic that they gave you. And my essay just turned out to be extremely irrelevant on topology, which was not about theology. But because I have never written about theology before, I didn't know what I need to write. I didn't know what it involved, and therefore I wrote the entire wrong thing. But that wrong thing turned out to be one of the greatest things that have ever happened in my writing journey, because as I turned out to realize my mistakes, I realized how important topology was, as well as how I could implement topology inside of theology. So I started researching on what theology was, what it meant, what it involved, and I found out so many new information I have never heard before. It brought to me so much more innovation, creation, and so much more excitement in my writing journey. So I started to use my skills I have developed using other branches of my skills, for example, debate and MUN, to put into my writing. And then I wrote about the tension between modern science and ancient moral laws, which is my entire essay I have rewritten. And the idea of my essay started when I was doing debates. I was researching about international environmental laws, but then I paused to wonder how a god in 2 trillion galaxies can do this. It was a small detour, but it taught me to chase new connections and unexpected connections that could have helped me write my essay. And in everyday life, whenever you walk, there will always be a part where you have assumptions. So debating helped sharpen my ability to question assumptions, and I would spend hours sourcing resolutions in UN, and then I would condense them into speeches, which is how a part of my essay was written. And I also needed the structure, the crafting, the logical frameworks, and anticipating counter-arguments and why my essay was incorrect, and I used the mistakes I have made in order to craft myself an essay that is almost incorrect. And those skills I have thought to be really irrelevant turned out to be the perfect skills that I could have used to write my essay. So when I read the topics, I just thought, how about theology? I had never studied it, I had never known what theology was, but I knew how to research, how to write, and how to argue. So my approach was, number one, I would dive into the primary text. For example, as a Christian, I usually read the Bible, so I read the Psalm 8 and how ancient poets would marvel at the cosmos, what is really important to man, what is mindful to him of God, which is also in my essay. And then I explored casual laws, not for dietary tips and not for what is eating bacon for breakfast, which is about how we can have everyday acts and turn them into more symbols. Two, I thought outside of the box, outside of disciplinary borders. I brought in astrophysics to illustrate the cosmic scale, and I used anthropopathy, which is the idea that anger will convey your ethical judgment without human pettiness, in order to bridge my essay across the Bible narratives with the modern ethics that are used in my essay. And third, I just treated every single part of my essay as a plea. I opened with a clear thesis, I backed it up with evidence, and then I asked myself for what are the rebuttals I could have had for this argument, what are the metaphors of this, and I would close it by using practical relevance, how moral rules would shape the intimacy with the divine. And along the way, I also asked help from the people around me, for example, my debate teammates, my teachers, and my friends, in order to see what could have been wrong, what could have been corrected, and what could have been added to the essay. So when I clicked submit, I wasn't sure what to expect for myself, but then a few weeks ago, I opened an email and congratulations, you've been shortlisted. I was so happy, it felt surreal, and I really set out to explore an entire new topic, use my own skills. I have never even heard of it, and I got shortlisted, which is something that was so new, I couldn't believe it was happening. So here is my takeaway for you. Don't wait until you're an expert at something, or don't wait until you're an expert at something new. Use the skills you already have. This can be arts, history, or anything really. Even just making in your kitchen, you can just create that idea and create an entirely new essay that's really, really diverse. Ask the big what if questions, and you might just find yourself on a journey you never ever imagined. It would make you so much more happier than doing things what you already know. And it's bringing to yourself diversity, bringing to yourself a new journey I believe you would really like. Thank you for listening and happy writing.